Can you explain what agreement you had in private, in your private meeting with the Environment Minister?
Well, Bob Irwin actually had the private meeting with Environment Minister Andrew Powell, and he stated that he fully supported the removal of dangerous crocodiles and boat ramps and in public beaches. But what's changed since is that Andrew Powell, the Environment Minister, has done a complete backflip, and now he's put it out to tender to a private enterprise, and they will decide what happens with those crocodiles. Now, Bob didn't mind the crocodiles be relocated to another location, and some would end up in a croc farm. But as it is now, the croc farmers are going to tender for the removal of the crocodiles, and they'll all end up as handbags in France or meat in local restaurants, and we find that disgusting.
So you think he's reneged on whatever agreement was in place?
Yes, we think now we know why people think that politicians are lower than a snake's belly. When you have an agreement with somebody, you expect to honour that agreement. And I believe that Andrew Powell has totally done a backflip, riding on the back of the local member, Michael Trout, who's going to ride a dead crocodile into his next election campaign. We think that people here in Queensland realise that crocodiles are part of the natural environment, and we shouldn't be removing them willy-nilly.
How do you feel about the trap set for Mo at the Mowbray River Bridge there?
Well, Mo at the Mowbray River Bridge is a disgrace. That crocodile has been there for years. It's a local tourist attraction. There's no public access. There's a tiny little track that some fools wander down. There's no boat ramp there. There's no beach there. That crocodile poses no danger to anybody. That's actually what made the local people of the North Queensland Protection Society get upset, that they targeted a crocodile. It was no threat to anybody.
Why do you think it has been targeted then?
I just think it's part of the plan now to remove any crocodile that anyone sees anywhere. I think that now that the LNP are looking after their mates in the croc farms, they can actually pay them $70,000 to make money. I think it's ridiculous.
Do you think the government has gone back on its word? Do you think the trap should be there?
I don't think that trap should be there, and I don't think anybody in Queensland that actually goes through there and sees that remote spot. It's a part on the highway where people have to stop dangerously. People stand there, fish, which they shouldn't be doing either way. Why would they just put a sign there to say the crocodiles inhabit these waters? There's one been sighted here. It's a local tourist attraction, and no one, feed it. But people are feeding that crocodile, so anyone that goes anywhere near the bank there or anywhere near the bridge, that croc comes over thinking it's going to get a feed. All it's going to do is get a feed of hot lead.
So what is the line between a crocodile that should be removed and one that should be left in situ?
Well, a crocodile that's in a public place, like in a public beach where there's swimmers, where there's nets, should be removed. We don't have a problem with that. Bob's always said that. And I agree with that too, totally. But a crocodile that's up a stream that poses no threat to anybody shouldn't be removed. It's ridiculous. People come here to North Queensland to see those iconic animals. They've been here for 60 million years. We're the ones that are invading their territory. They're not invading ours.
Okay, we all know around the far north, around Cairns even as far up as Port Douglas, there are a lot of crocodiles. Why do we care about Mo?
Well, because Mo poses no threat. He doesn't fit the criteria of what Andrew Powell told Bob Irwin. That'd be in a public place, on a public beach, or on a public boat ramp where it poses a threat to someone launching or retrieving their boat. There is no boat ramp there. This crocodile is remote on their terms, and yet they're removing it because some fool went down there onto the bank, and the croc thought it was going to get fed, and it came out of the water. And that isn't the criteria that we agreed to or anyone else agreed to in North Queensland.
What can you do to protect it? Is there anything you can actually do to protect the crocodile, or are your hands tied?
Well, our hands are tied. It's in the hands of QWPS. But what we're going to do is make people aware of what this government is actually doing now and why they've backflipped on their agreement with us. Now that we've been taking the Crocodile Protection Society into our animal coalition, which looks after all vulnerable endangered animals, because the crocodile is declared vulnerable under the 1992 Conservation Act in Queensland.
Okay, and we were talking off camera also, you said about turtles and dugong, which is a separate issue, but do you think the government actually listens to the people? They're elected, they always tell us they're elected as our representatives to do what we want. Do you think they listen to the people on any of these issues?
I don't think the government do listen to the people they represent. I think they go in there with their own views. When you're elected into Parliament or any office, you should go there and represent the views of your constituents, not your own personal views or your own money-hungry views. And I think a lot of politicians go in there to look after their mates. The local member for Cairns, Gavin King, has been the same term of office as Michael Trout. He's never had anyone in his office ever complaining about a crocodile. So if we're talking about crocodiles in the city, there are none. But Michael Trout seems to think there's one hiding behind every bush.
It is your environment, but you're probably going to have to fight for it.